Hi everyone, it's Evangeline here at eTrailer, and today we'll be taking a look at the Saris MHS modular bike system right here on our 2021 Subaru Outback. So this is the Saris MHS for 2 bikes, and you can add on another accessory if you want to. So the MHS is a modular system, which means you can mix and match different accessories. You can move our trays around, you can put an add-on super quick, and because of that, it's a little unique. It has its own special features and its own special place in the bike rack world. So we'll be talking about the different features and different specs, but we're also going to focus on our 2021 Subaru Outback and see how they pair with each other. That way you can see what's the best pick for you, your different types of bikes, and your vehicle. The first feature we'll take a look at is the tilt away feature. So we have this big lever over here. You're going to want to pull that lever, but also note that you have a guard at the bottom. So that guard is important because as you pull it, it's going to drop down to a tilt. Fortunately, on our Subaru Outback, with it sitting like this, we have plenty of clearance before it hits the ground, and plenty of clearance as well between our pedals, handlebars, and doors. So this will allow you to reach into your trunk or your hatch, grab whatever you need, whether it's your water, your helmet, your bags, and once you've gotten it, you just close that door, lift up on the rack, and then it snaps into place. So this is really helpful because then you can hit the road without having to take your bikes off. But even if you did have to take your bikes off, it's a very convenient process because of the way this is designed. The way this holds down your bike is it has a lot of stability here because we have 1, 2 wheel mounts and we have a strap. So this makes it really easy just to take things up, take things off. Let's start with the strap. We're going to press this lever, lift up on the strap, and then bring it over here to this side. Then we're going to undo these mounts. So let's compare this real quick with the Inno Tire Hold bike rack. That one has a lever, which is over here, and you push out on the lever. The Thule Helium has a lever, I believe, right up here on top, but the Saris MHS has the lever here. Make sure if you have it super tightened down, be careful when pulling that lever so you don't pinch your hands. But once that's engaged, that just drops down there. So 1, and hold on to your bike as you do this last one. Here's gonna be a push and a go. So just like that, you can then grab your bike, lift it off, and you're ready to go on a bike ride. So on the front, we have our front chock. This is what gives us our extra stability as well as weight capacity. On the inside of each tray, we have these cable locks. So these are integrated locks, go around your bike and secure them. And then going down the tray, let's take a look at our rear cradle. So this is going to be the strap. This moves back and forth for those different wheelbases with a maximum wheelbase of 53 inches, which is a lot, and a maximum tire width of 5 inches for those extra wide fat tires. Here we have our wheel mounts, and this ratchets down to secure your wheel. You can also adjust this up and down depending on your different tire sizes, wheel sizes, or wheelbase. Now this is going to be a larger rack, so it also adds a little bit more length to the back of your Subaru Outback. Let's take some measurements to see exactly how much. I'm going to measure from our rear bumper right there to the end of the rack by this handle here, and that sits at 36 inches or exactly 3 feet. Definitely a measurement to keep in mind when you're backing into your garage or trying to park into a really tight spot. Don't forget that you have a bike rack as well as bikes behind you. Our ground clearance is going to be measured right over here at the end of the rack to the ground. It's 15.5 inches. Compare that measurement with over at the shank. We have a guard on the shank that sits 12.5 inches from the ground. The shank itself sits 13 inches from the ground. So ground clearance is important on your Subaru Outback just because it's not as tall as, let's say, some of your other SUVs like a 4Runner or trucks. Now, this does have a slight shank rise, so your bikes are sitting higher up off the ground, and I personally think it's a good height because where those trays sit, it's going to be 23 inches. That's going to be the height you have to lift your bikes up and onto those trays. But what if you're not planning on going out for a bike ride just yet, but you also don't want to take the bike rack off because it is heavy? What you can do is you can fold this up. So remember that lever we pulled earlier? Pull that again, but this time lift up on the rack. It snaps into place in this first position, which, by the way, means you can still open up the hatch. Looks like it has a little bit of clearance, but definitely doable. That's really good to see for the Subaru Outback. But if you want to make it even more compact, pull that lever again, and it folds up just like that. Closest point is going to be from our bumper to the bike rack, about 2.5 inches of clearance there. And then length now added to the back of our vehicle is from the bumper to this mast 12 inches, which is pretty much aligned with that handle. So that's going to be 1 foot of clearance. So big difference compared to when this is folded down. You'll definitely want it in this position when you're driving around town, or if you have this stored inside of your garage. But what is it like living with a bike rack behind your vehicle? Well, for one, our rear window is completely visible, so that's awesome. Our taillights sit right over here. We kind of cover the bottom part of our corner piece, but definitely still visible. What it does cover though is going to be our license plate and our backup camera. This is a very large system, so you probably will not be able to see the cars behind you. If that's going to be a big issue though, what you can do is you can have this in the folded down position as you drive around. This has an anti-rattle bolt that tightens down, and this is going to use a 16mm socket, or that's what I use at least, to tighten everything down and engage the anti-rattle system. To demonstrate how that anti-rattle bolt works, as I shake our bike rack, just to kind of simulate the road movement and vibration, look at how easily I'm just moving the car at this point. And that's because that connection is secure. If you do feel like there might be rattle or movement, double check your trays and make sure those are tightened down too. Now, my personal thoughts about the Saris MHS modular system for your vehicle is this is definitely helpful if you enjoy mixing and matching, if you like the modularity, moving those trays around, being able to add on a third bike very easily. And that was a look right here at our Saris MHS modular bike rack for 2 bikes right here on our 2021 Subaru Outback. My name is Evangeline, and I hope you enjoyed the journey.